Hi all. One of the questions that we got during class was how do you create a clipping mask, or asked me to do a little video on creating a clipping mask. So that's what I'm going to do here. And this is what we were working on during class. So I am just going to make a very simple shape. Make it an oval. And then I'm going to go out and place an image. So I'm just going to do File and Place. Now, of course, if you're creating a clipping mask for something that you've already got on your desktop, you don't have to do File and Place. But I'm just going to go out and place and find a image that I can put into my clipping mask or frame. So that oval that I just drew was my frame. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble finding a picture. All right, we'll choose this. All right, then I'm going to back off here so we can see the actual size of the image. Move it down here away from our strawberries, and I'm going to take this oval and I'm going to place it in front of the image. Alright, so the oval is lost behind the image. I could do one of a couple of things. I could go over into my layers column to find it, but instead I've got the image selected. I'm just going to go to Object, Arrange, and Send to the Back. And you'll see my oval in place in front of the image that I'm going to create the clipping mask around. I'm going to make the oval a little bit larger. And so again, in the order of things, the shape that you're going to create or put the picture into has to be on the top layer. It has to be on the top. The image or the shape or the texture or whatever has to be underneath. So then you have it positioned correctly. You go select both objects, and then you go Object, Clipping Mask, Make. And again, that's Object, Clipping Mask, and Make. And there's my ovaled image. If I wanted to move the image inside the oval but maintain the oval clipping mask or shape, you just use your direct selection tool and click on the image, and then I can move the image inside the frame. There we go. Now, if you choose to make a texture on top of that, I'll show you again how to do that as well. You want to get the selection tool, not the direct selection tool, and I'm going to copy it. So I can copy that shape, do a Command C, and then I'm going to go out and search for a texture. Remember how we searched for a texture? We went out to Google and we searched for a texture. We wanted to look at images only. And within those images, we went to Tools, and we wanted to make sure that we had the correct size. So we're going to get a larger than, I'd say 2 megabytes is going to be plenty large enough. And we also want to make sure that we are not using someone's image that they haven't given us the permission to. So I'm going to click on this down facing arrow, and I'm going to choose only textures that say they are labeled for reuse with modification. So we can use them as long as we modify them. Right, that's kind of an interesting one. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to View Image. And in this instance, you can just do a right click, or I do an Option click. No, I'm sorry, Control click. And for a Mac, right click if you're on a PC. And I am going to save this image as And I'm going to save it out to my desktop. Normally I'd copy it, but it's quite a big one, so I'm just going to save that out to my desktop. And I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to do a file and place, or copy and paste, depending on how you got that image. Go out to the desktop. And place it. All right, now once that I've got it positioned over the oval where I want it to be positioned, then I'm going to bring up the transparency panel. Do that every time. Go up to Window and down to Transparency. And under Transparency, these they're blending modes for layers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose Multiply. And you'll see that allows my image to show through the texture, but it's still pretty heavy, so I'm going to knock back the opacity on that image. And then I'm going to do a Command V. Oh, I guess we didn't. I'm going to select that image and do a Command C to copy it, do a Command V to paste it. I don't need this image inside it, so I'm just going to delete that. I just want the shape. Make sure I have a stroke around it so I can find it. Stroke around it. Put that right on top of the other shape. And I'm going to shift click my texture. So I'm going to select the shape and my texture. All right, so there's the texture, and there's my little red oval. I'm going to do Object, Clipping Mask, and make. I hope I've got the right oval here. I do. And so there's an image clipping mask inside the oval, and then there's also the texture as well. Okay, so hopefully that's what you were looking for. You just have to remember two things, or a couple of things. Make sure that the image or the shape that you're going to frame it with, or that's going to be your clipping mask, is on top of the image that you're going to mask. And you would go to Object, have them both selected, go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. Which is grayed out because I'd already done a clipping mask with it, but it is right here, grayed out, and you should have no problems with it. So let me know if I can do something else for you. Thank you very much.